Alright, so today is just kind of an all-around work day. I come out here to do several things. Number one, I got to check on the garden, and I can see it from here, and there's just tons of weeds in it. Hay and straw is just a little too expensive. I mean, it would cost me like a little over $100 to do the garden with straw, and it's just, you know, why even do a garden and then put all that kind of money in it or whatever? And you could just go buy the vegetables from farmer's market or something like that for that amount of money. So I don't know. I didn't get to the leaves in time. Everything's all grown up, and I don't even think I could get to the leaves through all the thick brush at this point. So lesson learned for next year, I guess. If you want to mulch leaves, you better get to them before the grass starts growing. I may just have to hoe it all up and just keep doing that, I guess. That's hard work. I did that last year, and it's not easy, but I guess it's better than doing nothing. So I've got that to attend to, and then I got myself a weed eater. I didn't have to buy it or anything like that. My brother-in-law had a couple of them, and I was talking to him the other day while we were fixing up a rent house, and he said that he had an extra one, and that he would just give it to me if I would cut him a load of wood in the fall time. I told him I probably have a good, cord of wood already. I just have to cut it up. I've got all those treetops and everything up there, so I've got plenty of trees already down for the wood. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. So now I can take that weed eater and chop some of all that crap down. I was able to capture a deer on my way down the gravel road. I see them all the time, and I actually saw a turkey just before the deer today, but I didn't get to the camera quick enough. But I see deer almost every time I drive through here. It's just I never have the camera ready, but I got it this time. So I'll probably interject that video. You're probably seeing it currently right now and have been for a few seconds. So anyway, there's the deer. Okay, so it looks like I wasted my time bringing the pump, so that will not be a video, because it has all dried out. It's not dry, I mean, it's still real muddy, but there ain't no standing water in it. But look at the middle. I mean, you can look back on my other videos when I was laying those blocks right there, and all this was just down to pretty much nothing. But how many people do you know have to mow the inside of their construction site, Ah, well, that's what happens when you try to tame the wilderness, I guess. It tries to take it back from you. You got to stay on top of it. So I guess we'll just go up and start weed eating then. Okay, I guess the first thing to do would be to grab the lawnmower and drag some of these little logs out of the weeds here and pull them down into the open to be cut up into firewood. I just thought I would show you guys real quick how I tie this up to use it to pull logs with. All I do is take it and just make a loop, kind of fold it over onto itself and make a loop, and then just kind of like tie it in a knot. And so you've got a loop at the very end. Then all you got to do is take your other end and just feed it through the loop like that, and it'll just slip down and pull tight. And then you just, to undo it, you just pull it back through the loop. So anyway, I thought I would share that real quick. I'm sure that one's not a real hard one to figure out, but maybe some people might not know. So I'll go get the mower and start pulling these logs out. One quick thing I'd like to mention is that my father-in-law, I don't know, I guess it was last week, killed a pretty good sized rattlesnake in his driveway, so I'm definitely wearing jeans and boots out here. I usually always do anyway, but once it gets to be 95 or 100 degrees out here in the dead of the summer, and I'm doing blocks or something like that, you might see me out here in shorts, but for messing around in these weeds and stuff, boots and jeans are a must. Well, this kind of illustrates my point on always wearing boots and jeans out in the woods like this, because you never know where something might lurk. I don't exactly know what type of snake that is, but I know I don't like snakes, period, so he's probably gonna die. Alright, I think I can move the rest of the rat around by hand, so we ought to be able to start whacking some of this down. This weed eater seems to have an issue with when you start it, it runs fine, and it runs fine all the time. It runs good. But when you give it gas, it doesn't seem to idle back down. It'll stay in an elevated RPM, you know, without even touching the gas. It'll be like half wide open. But I don't know. I'll have to look up which of these screws is the adjustments and stuff, because I don't know. Down where I can kind of see where all the rocks and everything are, and I can go over it with the mower. Weed eating to me is kind of fun. So, I mean, you know, edging sidewalks might not be all that much fun, but out here in the waist tall weeds, it's pretty fun. I am really starting to dislike rocks. Look at that mamma jamma. That's about 2 foot long and about 1 foot wide. And only about 1 inch of it was sticking up above the ground, but I don't want to hit that with the lawnmower for sure. I think I've got this picked up enough in here to go ahead and mow it down, so I guess we'll give that a shot and see if we can't tear something up. Alright, maybe I've got this camera set where it won't make you guys sick when I move kind of fast and walk around. No, none of you have said anything about it, but I watch my own videos, and sometimes it gives me a bit of a headache, all the blurriness, you know, moving fast, but we'll see if this setting does any better. So I kind of got the garden area looking a little better. it'll be easier to take care of. And like I said, I mean, this thing is getting, you know, weeds galore. Up in there on that end is not so bad, but down here it's pretty bad. I'll have to probably run the tiller up the middle of the rows and then get the kids and wife out here and have everybody pitch in and get a lot of these weeds off the rows, hopefully. But I'll go over the garden in a separate video here in a minute. I just want to kind of take you guys around. Now I'm saving a couple of trees. There's one right there that I want to save by the driveway. And then there's one down here. I know it's hard to imagine, but if you can kind of visualize, you know, the house being right there, all this will be wide open and sunny. So, you know, I like to have a few trees for shade, you know, like up there around the well house and things. So, got a few up in there. It's good to have open sunny spaces too, but you want to mix. You don't want to just level off the whole thing and not have any shade. So I left one here. Kind of chopped down some of this over here around the foundation a little bit. That board right there is not bolted down or anything. I just kind of laid it on there. That is what the sill plates will be though. We'll go look at that real quick. And this board has been laying out in the weather since like November, so, or December, I guess. But it's still a solid board, even with those cracks in it and everything. That's what you guys have to remember, is this is oak. I mean, it's, you know, solid oak. So those cracks might look a little ominous, but you know, you go and frame the floor in with that stuff, and it's going to be there a long, long time. And these boards don't really hold any weight. They just, I guess, kind of cover up the blocks. You know, it's a sill plate, so. But anyway, they're cut to right at 8 inches wide. So where a 2x8 from the lumber yard would be a little shy of covering the entire blocks, this 2x8 covers, you know, exactly the entire block surface. So that should be pretty good. I got to get going on these blocks again here pretty soon. I'll have to shovel out the trench and whatnot. And I am going to have to mow this down in the middle so we can move around a little bit easier. I say we, so I can move around a little bit easier. And so that's that. Chopped some of this down over here by these blocks. Chopped down around the electric pole and around the well house and everything, just so we can kind of move around a little easier. So yeah, there's that tree. But I think the garden area looks a lot better.